And welcome back. Now time for us to go through the big stories of the day. As always, keep those traffic updates coming in. You can get us at K24 TV. We'll know how we can let everyone else know how they can navigate through the tricky situation that tends to be Nairobi traffic in the morning. Right now, it's time for us to jump into the big stories of the day as far as our newspaper review is concerned. My panel slowly getting into shape right now. And let's look at the big stories that we have right now as far as the front pages of the dailies are concerned. Then we get to my esteemed panel. We start off with the front page of the People Daily. 22 billion shillings at stake as Uhuru cancels Kimwarer Dam. President acted on recommendations of technical team which termed controversial project unviable. But Senator Murkomen reads malice in move. That's the front page of your People Daily this morning. You can get the stories right there. We move it right along to the Daily Nation. And on the Daily Nation's front page, Cohen body is mine to bury, says widow. Ahead of post-mortem examination, Sarah Wairimo Cohen notifies mortuary that, as the widow, she should be given the body for the last rites. And that's the lead story, of course, on the front page of the Daily Nation. Also on the front page of the Daily Nation, Ugali crisis as maize harvests drop. The projected shortfall is set to open the floodgates to imports and make the country's staple food too expensive for citizens. That's a story that we'll be talking about as well in terms of food security and what it looks like even as we move forward. And it's a story that you can get in detail as well in your copy of the Daily Nation. We move it right along to the front page of the Standard. Surprise strike as Uhuru now backs Mariga for Kibra seat. Football star who had initially been portrayed as Ruto candidate by some MPs gets backing of President Kenyatta. You can see the picture right there, and it's a picture that also did the rounds virally yesterday as he wore the Jubilee cap right there, a moment of mirth between him and the president. On the front page of the Star, Dutch paper says Top Cohen's head was smashed. The Star going for leaning in on the graphic as far as that's concerned. Sarah Wairimo demands to be given her husband's body for burial as sister insists on interring her brother. Lawyers, pathologists announce agreement on findings that they announced late yesterday evening. And that's a story that the Star is leading with. Front page of the Business Daily. Alcohol betting to cost more as rate cap remains. Parliament's Finance Committee ups sin taxes and rejects scrapping of loan rates and controls legislation right there. That's a story that we'll be talking about as well as far as the interest cap rate is concerned, because some people are asking, in principle, it was good. On the ground, really, a credit crunch of sorts, and how do you move forward from that particular scenario? We discussed that and plenty more. And of course, I have two very capable gentlemen who will be taking us through these big stories and what it portends, not only for the news cycle, but for the country at large as we move forward. Once again, Gabriel Muthama, political and governance expert. Karibu sana. Welcome to the show. For the first time on K24 this morning, Dr. Bonnie Halole. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
I hope I'll enjoy it.
It will be. And of course, as usual, we want you to hold no punches, take no prisoners. As your signature style.
Okay.
Fantastic stuff. Let's look at the front page of the People Daily as we get right into it. 22 billion shillings at stake as Uhuru cancels Kimwarer Dam. President acted on recommendations of the technical team which termed controversial project unviable. But Senator Murkomen reads malice in this particular move. We're looking at a project that, in terms of its feasibility study, it was done 28 years ago, according to this particular technical committee. Money was released for this particular dam project as we speak right now. And very many Kenyans, even as the President's communication unit made this statement, are wondering, okay, fine, you've cancelled the project thus far, but money had been spent up until now. How do we move forward from this? Because Kenyans, they want to see the money back. Dr. Let me start with you.
I think you cannot doubt the competence of the professionals who advised the President that led to his decision. But be that as it may, what was the objective of the project? The project
at the very beginning.
Yes, the project was supposed to uplift the lives of the people. So if because of failures, administrative failures within the ranks of government are the reason why the money was lost, you cannot punish the people. The people have been paying tax for as many years as the project was envisaged. So the proper thing to do is, yes, deal with the corruption, punish people, but let the project go on.
But some of the findings in the report was that even the place where it was supposed to be built on was faulty. So in terms of structural deficiencies, it would be found as well.
No, that is an excuse because...
It was in the report for the committee. It was an excuse?
No, the committee's report was now creating a narrative that would fit the cancellation. Otherwise, the decision, the original decision to start funding is because the various technical teams had recommended that place as suitable for the dam. We wouldn't support that kind of thing.
Right. Gabriel, let me have your take on this as well, because as he says, there's already a fixed narrative. The committee had to fit into that particular narrative to move forward.
Actually, Dr. has actually raised a very pertinent issue, and that would still remain what was the initial purpose. And I would expect, actually, a team of professionals actually did sit down to come up with a feasibility study. So he's right on that. But there are two kinds of viability, like we saw on the committee. The first one was the technical, and the other one was the financial. Yes, if there's financial misappropriation, then get the people who are said to have, whether it was siphoning money, whatever deal it was that made it, not to be where it is in matters of finance. When we are told money has been lost on that particular project, those people need to be, and already, as we can see, there are people in court on in that regard. When it comes to the technical part, which I would like to believe the discussion surrounded, will this dam now get water? Right, that's the technical aspect that we have to deal with. I think we need to probe a little bit further. And probably it would be nice if the people like us who like reading too much, you take the entire technical committee and you try and read it as much as possible. Because it may contain actually things that we do not know at this point. Could be the tributaries that you expected may have actually dried up. You are seeing the deforestation that is going on. Could that have been a scenario that was used to come up with that technical report? We do not know. But the fact remains, if you divorce politics out of it, you'll start to understand why the people may feel a little bit kinda, I don't want to say cheated, but you would want to see where their fears are coming from.
And let's talk about the politics
actually
as well.
Go with the political narrative.
Let's talk about the politics of this one as well. Yes. From where you stand as a political and governance expert, because Senator Murkomen urging the president to constitute a new committee to study the project, adding that Meringa's report amounted to ethnic profiling. They have no knowledge or attachment to the area and have misled the president. Is this also being used in terms of political
what Murkomen is saying, you may probably, yes, you may like to disagree with him, but there's one thing that he's doing. He is a leader of the people who elected him. That you cannot take away from him. And what I'm seeing him writing to the president really is to just ask him reconsider. It's not bad. I say, Your Excellency, please reconsider. I mean, is there another group that can sit to see whether they can deliberate and come up with something which is a little bit different from what has from the committee, the technical committee results or finding that have come up with what the president had instituted. So really, this is where now there's a political element of it, because I mean your people must see you doing something, and there's the political side of things, and you cannot blame him. Honestly, I've never had people trying to throw darts at Murkomen. You cannot do it at this point, because he has to represent his people. Dr. will tell you, when such things happen politically, you must stand up and say, guys, I led you to this journey. I told you this was a project that we needed to own as a community. Yes, there are some issues that have happened, but we are going to look at the best way to continue with this. So you have to keep your people really engaged onto this.
But Dr. Halale, coming on this one as well, because some people are saying, okay, fine, if it is indeed representing the people and championing the rights, that's all well and good. But shouldn't you have raised the flag in terms of Murkomen way before this, when not a thicket had been cleared, you knew the project should be done here, yet years later is when you're the one coming out to say there's something wrong with the project?
No, I think probably I have had my brother slightly better than you. The issues that are being raised is that can government afford to go back to the people and tell them we have failed? The answer is no. Take, for example, more ambitious and more expensive multi-billion-dollar projects like the Americans flying to the moon. They failed the first time, the second time, the third time, and so on. But the government never went back to the people and say, we have wasted money, we have failed, because they thought they would be advancing the frontier of the lives of the people of America and of the world if they conquered the moon. So because the technical people have said that the lives of our people in that area will improve if we implemented this project, whatever hitches we have, we must overcome them. And the hitch here is a very small one, corruption. Deal with it. Secondly, somebody should tell Kenyans how much that constellation is going to cost.
How much has been spent thus far?
How much has been spent and what the constellation is going to cost. My brother will tell you that every contract has a cost when you choose to terminate it.
Right.
So the people who had taken up the job will sue.
Right. And this is what I'm
the
asking.
International Court of Arbitration, they will sue and they'll be paid billions of shillings.
Right.
This is not the first time we shall be losing a lot of money through this kind of cancellations.
Right.
The Anglo-leasing security projects, the cancellation cost this government a lot of money. And this is the route now we're starting to walk.
And this is what I'm asking, even as we talk about that, in the sense that with regards to Senator Murkomen and the fact that this is his area and he's putting up a very spirited defense in terms of the project should go on, which is all well and good. But shouldn't have this spirited defense been put at the very beginning, as when not a thicket had been cleared? Shouldn't he have been the one to have raised a red flag?
No,
at that particular point.
There was no reason for the defense, because the original thinking of a legislator was that he would have supported the continuation of the project. His defense has become necessary when the continuation now has been terminated. So he's doing the right thing. Every elected member of parliament, including President Uhuru, when he used to be the MP for Katundu, he would have done exactly the same.
Right. Right. So the only action he can take here really is to defend this particular project at this point in time.
Yes.
And also, the other thing, like Dr. is saying, any elected leader, they have a part to play. Like, to them, they don't sit... I actually don't think they sit on those committees. They don't sit on the feasibility committee.
Never.
What they'll come and do, if Dr. here will come, you know, people in Ikolomani, back then, they needed a bridge. He will not be part of the technical committee that sits down to do a bridge, but the technical committee can come back to him and tell you, Dr. albeit the fact that you need a bridge here, it is not viable because this area is probably swampy, you know, they'll give you that technical element. But that does not mean that you did not want to fix something for your people. So any elected leader at this point, you know, you can listen to them, but to them they'll be playing to the political gallery. What needs to come out very clearly is the tabs of where corruption is mentioned. I would expect every leader, including Murkomen himself, to actually rally behind the government to ensure that if any corrupt dealings are found, the culprits must be brought to book. And actually they should face the full wrath of the law. That is not, that should not open room for negotiation. That is what should happen. But when it comes to, you know, viability of the project, it's the government which has the technical machinery to come and say, you know, but then, and then again, all is not lost. You know, I still believe the error is continuing. So let us see if the government is going to reconsider, because that's the work of government really, is to offer alternatives. We cannot do Kimorer because, you know, the technical viability is not forthcoming, but what is the alternative? Because one thing must be agreed upon is that the people of Kimorer need water. So the options must be found. Okay,
and that's what makes the front page of your People Daily. We go in a break in just a minute, but let's touch on one story that has, you know, taken different forms in the news cycle every single day. The rivalry between both houses, the Senate and the National Assembly. Yet there again, MPs accusing senators of seeking bribes in county audits. Lawmakers accuse Senate of colluding with governors to sanitize expenditure reports and waste of funds, asking them why they've never indicted anyone. Dr. Alwale, you've been in the House before, and you have seen what has been happening there. How do we solve this once and for all? Because we're not even talking about the issues anymore. It's almost like who's the bigger, between the two of them, who's a bigger boy? That's how it looks like right now.
Exactly. It is a question of supremacy, and as you can see, it has become petty. I don't think a senator can go to the county assembly and seek for a bribe. And even if he tried, who would he ask the bribe from? The accounting officer in a county assembly is far removed, kilometers, miles away.
They're saying it's the governors who are supposed to be, making sure that they give this money so that the audits can be sweetened in their favor.
I don't think so, because I have been chairman of the County Public Accounts and Investment Committee in the Senate, and I know that it is not possible. It's extremely difficult. What is possible? If you have a rogue senator, for example, what is possible is for an accounting officer within a department in the county office to attempt to approach a senator. But a governor it's extremely difficult.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. One thing, another thing that they brought up also, Gabriel, is the fact that this whole mashinani sittings is a waste of time, it's a waste of money, it's not working. They might as well just do their work from right here in Nairobi. What's your take on them trying to devolve and go around the country? I told you, it takes a different angle.
Let me tell you, I think the person seated, on my left would have actually answered that. But this fight is not going to end anytime soon. Like I told you, it's very clear this supremacy war is going to continue for a very long time.
It's here to stay.
Now you are sending the senators machinani. They don't need to be in machinani. What's their work?
Right.
All right. It's to look at how you're spending your numbers, my friend.
Right.
But then again, there's a two-prong that people don't talk about. Even if Daktari will pass you or you will bribe him kidogo to assist you doctor your books, there's still the office of the Auditor General.
Exactly.
And, so,
and you can't escape that.
How?
Okay, we'll take a short break at this particular point in time as we continue. As you can see, things slowly heating up right here. We'll also be joined by Honorable Jacoyo Mideo as we get into the rest of the stories right here. As always, keep on tweeting us at K24 TV, the SMS line 21222. Back with plenty more after the break.